Hi everyone, my name is Ashley, and today we're going to learn about animal limbs, like legs and arms, and how they relate to those animals' habitats. Animal limbs come in all shapes and sizes. Dogs have legs made for running on the ground, birds have arms that are made for flying through the air, frogs have legs for jumping long distances, and whales actually have arms that look like flippers for swimming. But all animals have the same bones, even if they look different. Like the purple bone is called the humerus, and it is found in humans, horses, whales, turtles, frogs, and birds. The blue bones are called the radius and ulna, and that is our lower arm. The orange bones are metacarpals that make up our wrist, and then the yellow bones are phalanges, which are our fingers. Now, animals use their limbs to move around their environment. A cheetah uses its legs to run fast across the savanna in Africa. A raccoon uses their limbs to climb trees and their hands to open garbage cans. Kangaroos use their feet to jump long distances, and whales use their arms like flippers to swim in the ocean. Sometimes, however, animals have specialized limbs to help them. For example, animals that live in trees, called arboreal animals, have long arms for climbing, like this gibbon, the sloth, and the orangutan. It's like playing on the monkey bars. The longer arms help these animals reach the next branch. Other animals live on the ground, called terrestrial, and their limbs are made to do many things like running, walking, swimming, and sometimes climbing, like these animals that you can find right here in Arizona. Today, we're going to focus on a group of lizards called Scaloporus. And this group of lizards are found all over the Americas and even here in Arizona. Many of the lizards can be found on the ground, but some species do live in the trees. You might recognize some of them from their blue bellies. And now that we know a little bit about limbs and how they match where animals live, it's going to be your job to figure out where each lizard species is in the environment, whether they're on the ground or in a tree. So we're going to show you 3 pairs of limbs or arms from the Scaloporus lizards, and you're going to figure out where each species likely lives by measuring the limbs on your screen. You can pause the video if you need more time to measure. So this is pair 1, and measure each arm and tell us if you think they live in a tree or on the ground. And this is your answer. I hope you got it right. This is pair 2. So do the same thing, and don't forget you can pause the video. All right, awesome. So hopefully you got some of those right, and you were able to figure out which limbs match the habitat. And now that you know how limbs in the environment are related, you can go out and make an educated guess, also called a hypothesis, about where animals live based on their limbs. Today, we have an activity for you where we're all going to be scientists and try to answer a question using real life data. So, how does leg length affect step length? Before we begin, make a hypothesis about how that relationship occurs. Do you think people with shorter or longer legs will have longer step length? These are the things you'll need: pencil, pen, anything to write with, and paper, a ruler, tape that you can write on, which we recommend masking tape. 2 people and a calculator will also make this easier. And so on the floor, you want to make a straight line with that masking tape that measures about 15 feet. And the start of where you're going to measure will be where the tape begins, and then the stopping point will be where the tape ends. However, you want to start walking about 9 feet before the tape starts, because you're trying to get your toe to hit that start of the tape, not the middle or the back of your foot. You want to count how many steps you take between the start and the stop of the tape, round up if your final step is beyond the stop of the tape, and write this number down. Now measure your leg length from the bottom of your foot to the top of your hip, and also write down that number. And now we're going to actually calculate step length. You'll need a calculator for this, and step length is equal to 15 feet, which was the length of the tape on the floor, divided by the number of steps you took to get across the tape. And then you want to write that number down as well. On another piece of paper, we're going to make a scatter plot. The x-axis is going to be leg length. The y-axis is going to be the step length that you calculated. And now you want to plot that data in your scatter plot. Once you've done that, we want to look at what trend you found. Did you find a positive trend, which means that people with long legs take longer steps, or a negative trend, which would mean that people with shorter legs take longer steps? It's also possible you found no trend at all, which means your points are all over the place and there's no seeable pattern. So what does your data tell you about leg length and step length? For most of us, we should see a positive trend, but remember that everyone is unique, so this will be different for every single person. And what does your data tell us? And now that you're a scientist, you can start collecting your own data to understand how limbs, habitat, and movement are related. Thank you for watching, and stay healthy and safe out there.